Welcome back to Murder Therapy with Doll Talk and Cousin Ashley.
Hi, welcome back.
So, this week is a little different. This is where we are integrating my world.
This is my favorite.
the
You guys think I still live under a rock with paranormal stuff, but like I eat it up. I sit and watch like scary shit all day long if I could.
She's fantastic to go ghost hunting with though, because she's like, yes, no, I like it because she's like, I'm so excited. She'll be like, I'm nervous, I'm so excited, but I'm nervous, and then we get there and she's like, I'm fucking scared as shit, and it's
We
great.
talked about it in the first
It's
episode. If
fantastic.
people are new here, I'm there. So it was so funny because we went to the Alanis Morissette concert. My sister and I took my mom, and Ryan got tickets for his sister and his mom, and we all went as a big group. And my sister's best friend. And I told her we should have made shirts with like song lyrics from her, and mine would have been "I'm brave, but I'm chicken shit."
And that's true.
It's so true.
It is. That's her. She is. When we
But
went to
I was terrified.
Mansfield Reformatory, she was like, I'm so glad mom's with me. And I'm like, well, what the fuck am I? I'm like, you have a cousin that collects haunted objects. I literally, my entire life, have been around the paranormal. I grew up in a haunted house. Nana and Papa's property had paranormal things attached to it, which I don't like to get into. Mom doesn't like to get into that stuff either. But my whole life has been paranormal. So I'm like, what am I? And she's like, well, you're not my mom. And I'm like,
So when I was like 7 or 8, that's when my mom made the transition into being pagan. And I don't know why, but I've taken to that world so well. I'm not, but I'm so open minded and I love learning about every different thing, every different religion, every different viewpoint, and I respect it all. But I eat this shit up. I love it so
he
much. Like
does.
the other day, but listen,
So
okay, I can watch it on TV all day long, but you put me in it, I'm gonna be a little chicken shit. Like walking through that prison, I'm pretty sure I pissed my sister off at one point because if I get scared, if I'm in a scary situation, even a fake scary thing, I cannot be in the back and I can't be the front. Don't,
I can't. I'm
don't,
sorry.
don't. And
Yeah,
then
she
I
doesn't do
scuff
well.
and I stay really close to the person in front of me. And most of the time it was my sister. And so I'd scuff and like get up on her and she'd be like, "Get off of me, Ashley. What are you doing?" I'm
I
like,
know.
"Sorry."
I can't wait to take you on another one.
I, I'm here
She
for it.
loves doing it,
I'm just going to be
but
scared
when
shitless.
the entire time, the
And then
entire time.
Nathan makes fun of
But yes,
me because I just pitter patter through
yes.
through everything.
Listen, when she was running full sprint at that one point, I look at Nathan because he was right beside me because I was uberly pregnant. So
Very,
I,
very
I was very
pregnant.
pregnant.
I props to
I'd
her for getting
already
it.
I was already dedicated.
Yeah.
I was like, and me and Nathan had talked about, he's like, are you sure? I was like, I have to do it. I promised my platform I was going to do this. Like, I have to do this. But, we had other things planned that obviously got postponed. Cause Cora, which is fine, but he was beside me because I was getting wore out and all of a sudden I hear, and I was like, oh man, we're getting something good. And it was just Ashley.
It's
Like,
just Ashley. She's
it was just Ashley. It was just Ashley. But yeah. So we're integrating paranormal tonight. Now,
Yay.
most of you all have listened to the Menendez brothers case. I gave you the Cliff Notes version because there's just so much to it that I thought that it was imperative that we talk about things because I'm very passionate about that case as a sexual trauma survivor, and I really want Eric and Lyle to be released. I think it's time that they should be able to
Same.
live their lives. Last week, a press conference was held. I misspoke, but I swear the media advertised it like the DA was going to be speaking, and that wasn't the case. It was the boys' attorney
Yeah.
that's representing them. Excuse me. And then the family has an attorney advocating for them because their family wants them to come home. Kitty's sister is about to turn, I believe they said 93.
Yeah.
And she wants nothing more than them to come and at least have Thanksgiving dinner with her before she dies. I know.
I hope
So
they're
they
out by
all
then.
spoke. Well, not all the family, but a good portion of the family spoke, and they're like, "Look, we're not condoning what they did,
No.
but enough is enough." And I think the big thing is people wanted to correlate that we're in political season, like this is, election time. So everybody's like, oh, they're doing it for election, they're doing it for votes. And I understand why people think that, but you have to. This is me speaking as someone who sends reports to courts, who deals with the legal system. They do not operate on your time. The court system has their own version of time, and they move when they want to move. And when you file these petitions and things, it takes
Forever. Oh my
forever.
God, it's so
So
long.
it just so happened that they're working it. It has nothing to do with the fact that we are in election time. That has nothing to do with it. Um, and I have to say this, I honestly feel sorry for the current DA because that he has a massive amount of pressure on him right
Mm-hmm.
now. Because you've got people that really truly believe that Eric and Lyle are cold-blooded murderers, and then you do have people like us that's like, listen, they did this in an act of self-defense. In their mind, they really were. It was I have to do this or they're going to kill me first kind of
Yeah.
thing. It was a self-defense case to them. But
I mean,
so
all you gotta
yeah,
do is
that's
just
our
put yourself
update.
in their shoes. Like, they've put up with the sexual abuse for their whole lives. What
Yeah.
would you do? Would you want that person to be walking around breathing the same air as you? No, I wouldn't.
Well, and we can sit here and say all day long that you know how you'll respond to a certain type of trauma, but you don't until you're in that
Facts.
moment.
And I don't anybody
So,
that has a difference of opinion, because yes, they did do something wrong. Did it deserve death? No. He deserved to sit in jail, to be truthfully honest, but I mean, they served their
right,
time.
right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they didn't deserve to go to prison.
No,
They
I'm just
did
talking
kill
about anybody
people.
that's watching this. Like, if you think that, oh my gosh, they're murder, they are.
Right.
They are. I'm not discrediting anybody's
It's never
beliefs.
it's never been about if they killed them or not.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that they did it. It's the whole why, that people so fixated on. So I hope they get out. I want them to get out. I want them to be happy. But
Same.
aside from that, so that's our update, and I want to keep you guys as updated on that. I'm monitoring it very, very closely. My whole For You page is fucking swamped with the Menendez brothers. I also ordered a free Menendez brothers t-shirt on the TikTok
Yes.
shop. Yes, I did. And my mom's like, I can't believe you got that. And I was like, you're damn right I did. And speaking of my mother, everybody loves a good mom story.
Yes. She
They
told me that
love,
she wasn't going to tell me this until
I
we started
wouldn't, I
recording.
know.
I'm ready.
Well, I talked a little bit about it on my platform the other night, but so, okay. Obviously, my area was really affected by Hurricane Helene. And my hospital that I work at they are really big into helping the community because we even have employees within our facility that have been affected, that lost their homes. So we've been doing fundraisers and stuff. So my hospital has decided we are doing a Halloween chili cook-off. And you get to dress up, right? And you get to do all the things. You will, they'll judge your chili. Well, okay. Understand, I don't make chili. I have never made chili in my entire life.
What?
Yes, okay. That's because my mom makes good chili. My mom's chili is dope as fuck. So I was like, okay, cool. And I thought about doing it, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do it until training came by my office, and they were like, yo, Jody, we're volunteering you to take care of the whole psychology department. You're the manager
Oh
of
my God.
your table for the chili cook-off. And I'm like, well, fuck me. I've never made chili in my entire life, but don't worry. I've got my mom, right? So here I go, making my way to the cafeteria, and I'm like, Mom, I have been voluntold that, I got to do this chili cook-off, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I need you to help me make some chili. And she's like, I can't do that because my loyalty is with housekeeping. I'm making the housekeeping chili. And I'm like, I'm your flesh and blood.
You
Like,
gave
what the
birth
hell?
to
And she's
me.
like, my mom's like, not here. She's like, and we're going to win. And I was like, no, you're not. I'm going to win, even though I've never made chili in my entire life. But
Mm.
it's okay because I have the Bacchum recipe. But aside from that, I think that we might get judged on our table and stuff. So my mom's like, yeah, we're going to have the best because we're dressing up like the Addams family. What are you dressing up as? And I'm like, I'm dressing up as Annabelle. I'm doll top. It's fitting. Like, it's got
Nice.
to be Annabelle. And I said, you know what? You might have cool decorations and you might make bomb ass chili, Mom, but I don't have to go buy Halloween decor because it's spooky
Facts.
time every fucking day. So she's like, you are not bringing those creepy dolls to work. And I said, I am bringing those creepy dolls.
I need
Now,
you to tear everything down behind you.
I
If you're
know,
listening to
like, I
this on
just need to.
Spotify, like
And
it's her whole get
listen,
up behind her.
my mom really doesn't think you're creepy, okay? I just want to set that for the record. She's just being
Mm-hmm.
mean because she wants to win. But listen, mother, I'm putting this out there for the whole world.
Oh my.
I'm, yeah, I love it. Ashley's like, oh my,
It-
it's really
I'm
competitive.
scared.
Like at this, I'm going to set up right beside her. Like,
She's gonna
I'm
come
going
in
to
with her
tell,
crock pot and just death stare her and slam it down on the table while still staring at her. It's on.
yep, yeah, it's going
Bring
on.
it.
It's going down. The truth of the matter is we're probably neither going to win. But at this point, it's the principle that matters. So, yeah,
I love
that's
it.
my funny competitive like Halloween chili cook-off. Everybody's like, "Oh, we're going to decorate." And I'm like, "Listen, I got your Halloween decor. I got something that nobody else has."
You just
Like
need to
it's
deck
on
out your
like Donkey
Halloween.
Kong.
Yeah, make sure your Halloween costume is awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah, I am. I'm dressing up like Annabelle. I was like, it's only suit fitting, and I have Beth. Beth is a paranormal psychologist. That's a thing. She legit went to college and has her doctorate, and she is a paranormal
Oh,
psychologist.
let's go.
She also does readings and stuff. So listen, we've got this in the bag. She's bringing her tarot deck. It's on like Donkey Kong. Like
She should do tarot readings.
she's going to at our table.
Yes.
Come get your fucking chili, donate to the community, get a tarot card pulled. Like it's on.
Listen.
What do you got, Mom? Like,
Sit, have a
yeah,
bowl, have a reading.
yeah, yeah. Eat your chili, get your reading, look at my creepy dolls as my mom calls them, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
That's dope.
I'm excited.
We need an update afterwards.
Oh, don't worry, I'll get you an update. I'm gonna get pictures. It's going down.
It's going down for.
It's going down. So, aside from creepy paranormal, right? So, happy Halloween. We are diving in to a paranormal legend for Chicago. Chicago is really well known for this. Miss Resurrecting Mary.
Right.
Ashley doesn't know who this is, as always. It never
I
fails.
I thought this was like where Bloody Mary came from. She's like, no.
It's not. No,
I was
no.
like, oh, okay.
So
And just
this
know,
was on.
it's spooky season, and we're within 2 weeks span of time of Halloween, so you're gonna get 2 doses of spooky episodes.
Of spooky shit.
So,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
So, Resurrecting Mary has been featured on Unsolved Mysteries. You know it's real when it gets on Unsolved
Listen,
Mysteries.
that show.
You know, there's been lots of paranormal investigating groups that have went out to interact with Resurrecting Mary. There have been lots of people that have tried to debunk Resurrecting Mary, but there's a lot of unexplained stories that I'm going to tell you all. And then we will get the girls' opinion on just who Resurrecting Mary is. So, we're going all the way back to 1939.
Oh,
This
I
goes,
love going
yeah,
back in time.
yes, we're going way back in time. And we're going to a dance hall in Chicago.
That's way
And this
back
is where
in time.
yeah, to the dance halls. Remember when Aunt Sue and Mom went dancing?
My mom used to go dancing all the time. I loved it.
I don't know that they ever went dancing. I think that they talked about it. I don't remember. I
She's like, you
maybe
remember
I
when they went
dreamed that.
dancing? Oh, no, I don't know that they
And then I'm
did.
like, no, I don't remember that they went
Yeah.
down. I don't know what they did. But anywho, Jerry Paws was a regular at this dance hall. He would go all the time. And Jerry's story that starts this whole resurrecting Mary, he told that there was a young lady there at the dance hall that he found to be really pretty. Like it's like one of those he's zoned in and he's like, holy hell, I want to dance the night away with her. And he immediately asked her to dance, and they did. They danced like all night long, and he was having the
Aw.
time of his life. He didn't know learn a whole lot about her, but he talked about how she had like blonde hair. She was wearing a white gown. She was very pretty. Really nice. Just they didn't really like get to know one another. They were dancing. They were having a good time. You know what I mean?
Do you talk when you
Um,
dance? I mean,
Not really.
the
Not
music's
really. You're right. You
loud.
don't really.
Yeah.
That would make dancing so awkward if you just talk the whole time, like, so where are you from? And you're like, what's your favorite color?
I wish people on Spotify could see it. Jody's dancing. Listen, when we
Yeah.
go to
Okay.
Ryan's shows, it's the most awkward time to meet new people, and I'm always meeting new people there. Not my favorite thing, but it's part of the gig, I guess. But it's so loud and awkward because you're just like, hey, yeah, oh, yeah, cool. And then you're like, it's really loud. I don't want to keep screaming.
Well, you're right. That people don't really like talk though when they're dancing. It'd be really awkward
No, they just
if you did. But
get down like you just were.
yeah, just like that. That's exactly how they were dancing. So
That's what got Nathan.
this
was
is
her
why
sick
if you
dance
are on.
moves.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is why, if you are only following us on Spotify, you need to follow us on YouTube so that you can see my sick dance moves. Anyway, so he ends up dancing the night away, right, with her. And he offers, being the gentleman that he is, he offered to give her a ride home. That's what they did during that time. And he said, this is a quote from him, as we walked along to the street, she says, well, you might as well take me down to Archer Road. And he goes, what for? She said, I'm sorry. He said, you live up here. That's where you told me. And he pointed in whatever direction. And she says, no, I want to go out to Archer Road. So he goes on. And he ended up stopping in front of Ressurection Cemetery. That's where she wanted him to stop at. He let Mary out of the car, and it was in that moment that she vanished right before his eyes.
No shit.
Yeah, look at your face. You're like, no shit. I know. And you hear this and you're like, this is so fucking far fetched. Like there's, it's like, what? It's one of those. But anyway, he admitted he was pretty like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
Yeah.
and he was willing to explore this really unusual circumstance that just happened. So he ended up the following to what?
I said he got out of the car.
He got out of the car. No, I don't know that he got out of the car. I don't know what he did, but the next day. Well, he did investigate the next day.
Oh, what a chicken.
So,
shit.
because he's wanting to know, would you have got out of the car? I love the paranormal.
Would I have
But
gotten
I
out of
don't
the
know
car?
that I would have got it. No, Ashley would have fucking died. She would have hit the gas as fast as she could. She would have been out of there in no time. I don't know that I would have got out. I probably would have got out
You
of the
would have
car,
gotten
wouldn't
out
I?
of the car.
I would have been like, where'd she go? I need to, excuse me while I walk in deep into this cemetery in the middle of the night.
Fog rolling out.
Yeah, fog rolling everywhere.
This is
and
out of a
bats
movie.
and I know, right? So, all right, the following day, he's wanting to know more about this woman, right? This is already going far better than I thought it would. Like, we ain't even got into the depths of it now.
I'm here for it.
All right. The very next day, Jerry drove to the house where Mary had said that she lived at. The woman who answered the door was Mary's mother. When Jerry asked if he could see her daughter, the woman told him that Mary had been dead for 5 years.
He was dancing with a ghost.
Right? Well,
Ooh.
then he said it made sense because, and he understood why the woman he was dancing with that night was so ice cold to the touch.
Ooh.
Right? Is that not creepy?
That is weird.
Yes.
That is so weird.
So years later, it was believed and learned that the restless spirit of a young woman named Mary Bogovy could be who people were referring to as Resurrecting Mary. Mary Bogovy had been killed in a traffic accident in 1934, a month before her 21st birthday.
Ooh, man.
This apparition that Jerry saw, he explained that she looked like she might have been 20 years old. She was wearing a long white gown, blonde hair. She was very fixed up, very nice, as if she was had intentions of having a night out to go dancing
Okay.
during that time frame. So
She was on a mission.
now Mary, she was on a mission. This is true. Mary was laid to rest in Resurrection Cemetery
Ooh,
in her
who would name a
favorite white gown.
cemetery that? I would never
I
set foot
don't
in
know.
that cemetery. I'm just throwing that out there
I
right
just
now.
want you all to know when I thought about telling this story, because me and Ashley were trying, like, I was brainstorming um, creepy things to tell for Halloween. This is far better than how I ever thought that this was going to go. So I hope that you all are enjoying it. But
Oh my
okay,
god.
anywho, I don't know who named it that. Take that up with Chicago. I don't.
Some
All right,
weird
so
people named it that. They're like, we just hope that it lives up to the name.
well, apparently it is because over the years, Resurrection Mary has been seen time and time again at dance clubs and taxis, walking outside the cemetery and looking for someone to take her home. And numerous people that have seen this apparition have had their stories are all very, very eerily similar. I don't
That's
think Mary means no
crazy.
harm. She's lost. She just maybe maybe she was going dancing the night that she died in her car accident.
Well, some
Makes you
people
wonder.
say that when people die and they don't pass over, that some of them live in loops.
Um, that is called a residual haunting.
Yes.
The fact
Yeah.
that I can just spit that fucking out like
I'm
it's
in,
nothing.
I'm
Like,
impressed.
so I have a story that happened in our house about kind of like a residual haunting, but I promised my mom I would
Tell
never talk about
it.
that shit on the podcast anyway. Okay.
Sorry, Aunt
Anywho,
Kimberly. She's telling the story.
I can't tell it now. We'll get sidetracked.
I'm
Anywho,
eerily
so
whispering
just
into my
if
ears.
people are not familiar with what a residual haunting is, like for example, if you live in a haunted house like what I grew up in, if you hear maybe every night at 1 a.m. footsteps going down the steps, that's part of a residual haunting.
Listen,
Kind of like an in loop moment.
we've already explained the house that Jody grew up in. It's creepy, beyond creepy. Like,
It's not creepy. To me, it's normal. It's normal. Like,
you
that's
hear
what
everything in this house. Everything.
it's an old home. Old home.
It's an old farmhouse, you
But
guys. Old
it is.
two-story farmhouse. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I love the house. But it's creepy.
It's great.
I don't like walking around it at night.
Aw. Well, you can hear literally every footstep. Like, it's hardwood floors and all the things. But
Jody
anywho.
and I, when we stayed the night, we used to sleep in her bed. And she'd be like sound asleep, and I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. I don't want to get up. But I really have to go to the bathroom.
It's because that was my life growing up. Like, I genuinely, I know some people probably think I'm crazy, but I've been around it so much that the paranormal is normal to me. And I don't know what I would, like, the idea of not having that in my life anymore is heartbreaking. I know it sounds crazy. Like, it's like, that's just my normal. So, yeah. All right, anywho. So that's what a residual haunting is, just
Love
in
it.
case, like, so that explains the loop and everything.
We're learning things, you guys.
We are learning things, yes. Now, in 1980, Claire, I believe this is Rudnicki. I'm probably not saying it correctly, but we're just going to call her Claire because I fuck names up. She was driving along the front of Resurrection Cemetery when she too spotted Mary. She said, this is a quote from her, "I really didn't think that there was any ghost. You hear these stories and think old ghost tales, but it's never happened to me. But now I must say I think I'm changing my mind." Oh my
Wow.
God, it just dawned on me. We need to take Ryan to Resurrection
I was just
Cemetery.
about to say that. Ryan, you're in trouble, sir.
He is. We're going to Chicago
He doesn't believe in ghosts
tomorrow.
if you're new here.
Yes, he doesn't. But he's one of my biggest supporters. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that. But anywho, she said, "I was just looking out the window as we were going down the street, and on the right-hand side of the road, there was a girl walking. She was bright, very bright." Yes, like illuminating
Wow.
bright. She was just walking very slowly, and she said, "I remember thinking, oh my God, it's Resurrecting Mary," because everybody talked about Jerry Paul's, experience that he had had. And there'd been several other rumors, that people's like, I saw, and it matched what Jerry had said that he saw. She said, and I can feel my stomach starting to churn. It scared her. Just like it would have scared you. I was very frightened, I have to admit, it did scare me. Now, Claire's husband was also in the vehicle at this time. He said, "We all went past it. They turn around because who wouldn't? To be like, what the hell did I just see?"
So she wasn't alone?
And no, she had her husband in the car who also, backed her up and said, "I saw it too."
Wow. Okay.
And when they turned around and got back to exactly where they seen her, it was gone. But there's no way that, in the amount of time that they turned around, that this person could have just easily walked away without them seeing. Even, and as bright as it was, if it walked into the cemetery, you would have seen, because they explained it to be very, very illuminating bright.
So is the cemetery on Archer Road?
Yes.
Okay.
Resurrection
So she knew
Cemetery.
that's where she needed to be.
Yes.
Because you said she told people to take her to that location.
I think she knows. I think in a sense she feels stuck there. I don't know. We'll dive into all my theories and things with Resurrection. I know. See, I love it. See, I'm making her have.
I know.
Everybody should have empathy to the paranormal.
It's just you never know what you're going to come across, and some of them are sneaky.
Now, in October of 1989, spooky season, Janet Kalal and a friend were out for an evening drive. This was about an hour. They were just kind of cruising, doing their thing. They found themselves at Resurrection Cemetery. It was then that Janet recalled that a pale young woman stepped right in front of her car. So she's like, oh my God, I just hit somebody. There was no bump. There was no physical indentions. And obviously, if you hit a human being, not that I've done that, but I'm imagining that if you was to hit a human being, they're either going, you would know.
That would be traumatizing because, you're not thinking a ghost. And I couldn't mentally handle thinking that I hit somebody.
Well, I couldn't either.
Stay out of the road, Mary. God.
I know, Mary. God. But Janet talked about there was no impact to the car, no bumps to say, oh my God, I hit something. She said, but I knew I hit her.
Wow.
Because it was like Mary jumped in front of the car.
Oh, that scared the shit out of me.
It would. I would love to see your reaction. I wouldn't want to be in the car with you when you had no, I don't want to be in the car with you when you do it, but
we'd wreck.
Yeah, but she talked about that the girl was all in white, just like what Jerry said. Her hair and the dress were flowing back like the wind was moving, and that it was like a stream backwards. And you just saw a profile of a young woman.
So at this point, nobody's seeing her in clubs anymore. It's just the road.
I think, no, there's still talks of her being seen in the dance clubs. And
at this point, 50, 60 years has passed. And
Hmm.
obviously,
And
her attire is going to stay the same. So, I mean, she's got to stick out because it's so outdated.
now there was a talk about a taxi driver who never wanted his name mentioned. So, which is kind of,
Why?
I don't know if he didn't want his name to ever be mentioned. I guess he didn't want, people would be, tell me more about this, or,
You'd
and
be
I'm sure
so
it
cool,
might have.
sir.
Actually, it's like, we need to know your name.
Yeah,
All right,
tell
so
me your
this
name right now.
taxi driver has stuck to this exact story. It has not changed, but he doesn't want his identity to be released. He explained that he picked up a strange young woman in a white dress one evening who had directed him down Archer Avenue.
Mm.
So they're going towards the cemetery. She was mostly silent, and the only time that she said anything was to make a remark about how the snow came early that year. That was it.
Was it snowing?
And I don't know.
I need to
I
know.
just know that she made the comment. Oh, well, sorry, I can't fact check that part. But anywho, so
That's why we need to know
they're
his
going
name.
down. They're going down Archer Avenue, and she abruptly tells him to stop right in front of the cemetery. And when he slammed his brakes, because he's like, "Why are we stopping here?" Um, he looked away for only a moment, and when he turned, she was gone. She had just vanished in thin
Get
air.
out. This is awesome. Because I'm
I
not there.
know. And he said, but we're going to. We have to take Ryan to the cemetery.
I'm
I
here
think
for
that
it.
resurrecting Mary, like, I am determined to make him a believer. Before God takes me off of this earth, it's going to happen.
It's a 4-hour drive to Chicago. Let's go.
So he even said, "May the good Lord strike me dead." That happened. Like,
Wow.
he's yeah. So, throughout the years, dozens of other men had come forward with very similar stories. They all involved an attractive blonde wearing a white party dress who would dance and ultimately disappear near the cemetery. Could you imagine? Especially when you was getting in the 70s and 80s, you think you're going to get laid, and they just disappear.
I mean, if she didn't want to, all she had to do was say something. God.
Well, I mean, really, think about it. Think about it. Like,
Oh,
you know
what an
what's
ego
going through their
bruiser.
mind,
Oh, that's
right? Good
great.
for her. Way to go, Mary. Way to go.
Yeah.
So, some of these men claim to see her just walking down the road, sometimes even jumping into oncoming traffic,
Gee,
which is,
that's insane.
yeah.
So you said she died in a car accident, and she was in the
Hmm.
car.
Well, we're going to get into
Oh,
that.
okay,
Don't
I'm
worry.
ruining
We're
things.
going to, yeah, yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, you're ruining it, Ashley. All
Sorry.
right. Others would say that they stopped to give the girl a ride, and in traditional, she just vanished in thin air. They'd be like, "Hey, can I help you?" And she'd just disappear.
Oh God, that's so weird.
Um, Now, some would say if she did get into the vehicle, that sometimes after she got out of the car, there were times that she would get out. The driver would walk around the passenger side to open up the door, and there she would go. She would just vanish right there in front of them.
Would she physically open the door?
There was times, well, yeah, think about it. Listen, so, okay, all right. I can see the wheels turning. I think that people have this perception that if you are in around the paranormal, for an example, and I say this speaking from someone that grew up around it, it's not always doors opening and closing. It's not always the
Yeah.
TV flickering.
It
It's
takes a
not
lot of
always that they're
power,
knocking
though.
stuff. It does, and that's energy, and energy is manifested, right? It takes,
Okay.
and even for them to show up in like a full form, that takes a lot of energy for them to do that. So when people are like, "Well, I've never seen one," or, "I've never heard one," I'm like, well, it's not an all the time thing. The experiences that I had in my house doesn't necessarily mean that everybody else is going to have those type of experiences, because it takes a lot of energy for them to do that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
she was getting energy from somewhere. I think she's it seems to be that she's a really powerful spirit. Um, But
I
again,
mean,
we'll talk
she
more about it.
illuminates as bright as she does. She obviously opens car doors and gets in them. Yeah, she's got to have a lot of energy to
She she does.
propel
She
all that.
does. And we'll talk more about it. So, over years, many researchers, obviously paranormal gurus like me, is like, I have to go and engage because that's what people like me do. We're like, fuck it, we're going head straight on. And I would. And I would make Ashley go with me. And she would cry the whole time that we were doing it. But at
Good.
her. Yeah, she gets so scared. But they've been trying to pin what like identity that this spirit could have, because remember, it's believed that that could be the spirit of Mary, who died right before her 21st birthday in a car accident. However, it's also believed that it could be Anna Norcus, who also died in a car accident. Here's the kicker: Mary, that died in a car accident, was brunette, and this spirit is blonde.
Hmm. Interesting.
So, yes. And then Anna, the other girl that died in a car accident, was a lot younger than 20. So there's no way that it's her, and she didn't have blonde hair either.
Do you think that hers, just because she illuminated, that it appeared to be blonde?
I don't know.
I'm intrigued.
I don't think she was always illuminating. Because you can't tell me that when Jerry was at the club that night dancing, that he was like, that bright ball of light there. She's
I
pretty.
gotta have
I'm
her.
going to go dance. I got to have her. Like, I don't think she was illuminating that night. I feel like people would
True.
have been really concerned and thought that you might have had a lot of, maybe you were exposed to, what is it, like, shit, you know what I'm talking about, the stuff that makes you glow,
Oh,
radioactivity, like, yeah. I don't think that so I don't think she's always illuminating. I think that you can foresee people the way that you and I look, and maybe that be a spirit,
well, you
and,
said that she
turn
wasn't always
away.
illuminating when people thought they hit her. So maybe it was just
Right.
somebody walking down the road and they see somebody just jumping in front of their car. So it's dark at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. True.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Anna was just shy of 13 years old when she died. So it couldn't be her.
Yeah.
Because
No.
they typically are, they're kind of stuck. So it's not her. Um, and both of those were never involved in hit and run accidents. So it's like, who would that be?
I mean, that's if you're going based on the facts of her like loop that she's stuck in. Obviously, she's jumping in front of cars. Could it have been
Is
suicide?
it an
Somebody.
act for help?
I don't know. I feel like it could go in so many different directions.
It could. It could. But another chilling aspect to this whole legend, they've tried to tie the resurrecting Mary to numerous other people, and with no luck, because when they start diving into the true identity of that person, it doesn't match the spirit. You have to understand, Resurrection Cemetery is over 540 acres.
Oh man.
Yes,
And they're sitting here trying to
making
go
it
through
one of,
every one.
yeah, you're not going to.
Yeah.
Making it one of the largest and possibly most haunted cemeteries in the United States.
Till you come to
Um,
Woodland Cemetery in Dayton.
that she never has taken me to,
I feel
but
so bad I never thought about that. But it is a very well known cemetery across the country. And it's known
there
to have
was
some things.
there was a night that a man reported seeing a young woman who looked like she was like locked in the cemetery, like she was stuck. When the police officer went to go check out the scene, he didn't see anyone there.
Hmm.
They just vanished. The bars on the gate of the cemetery looked scorched and warped.
Wow.
Yeah. Authorities chalk it up to maintenance accident with a truck. Legend that has it that Resurrection Mary seared the bars with her hands and then grasped them as if she was trying to free herself.
This is almost tragic. I get
It really is.
super hardcore tragic vibes.
But Mary's story obviously has captivated many ghost hunters. I don't know if Ghost Adventures has ever been out there. I'm not a Zach Baggins fan, no offense. But
Research him.
some write it off as nothing more than a legend. Residents of Chicago stand by the, Resurrecting Mary tale. Other people have talked about their experiences with Resurrecting Mary. And I encourage you, Ashley, don't do it because you'll have nightmares. But if you go on Google and you look up Resurrecting Mary and you go to images, you will see the famous picture of she's doing it. I mean, she can if she wants to. I'm
Look
just
at the
worried she's going to
glow. I
get
won't have
scared.
nightmares. I love watching this shit.
But you can see a picture of Resurrecting Mary, then there's no way, especially given the time that this picture was taken, there's no way that this was photoshopped like things can be today. There's no way that you can 100% see this apparition of a very illuminating woman. You can see the gown, and they say that that's Resurrecting Mary, and that was what was on Unsolved Mysteries. So the mystery of all of this is, who the hell is Mary?
Who is she?
Why is she jumping in front of cars? And why is she hanging out at dance clubs? And why is she picking rides with strangers? My mom always told us stranger danger.
Stranger danger. Dude, this looks cool. I'm curious if these are like created.
Did you find it?
Yeah. But like, are these pictures people have actually
Did you
taken?
find the one that was on well, some people, if you go through Google Images, they've made all kinds of things. Because I will say now, Resurrecting Mary was not the influence, as far as I know, unless you all know differently. She wasn't the influence for Bloody Mary. Now, she has been the influence to other made-for-TV films. She has made her way to Unsolved Mysteries, just like I said before. Many podcasts have covered Resurrecting Mary. Many, she's making it. She's in magazines. I love you, Mary. I hope you find peace.
I really
just
do
want
hope
to say
she
that.
finds peace, because it sounds she doesn't sound terrible. She sounds like she's lost and something tragic has happened to her.
Well, I will say, obviously the paranormal, they can form into anything that they want to form to. They can attach to anything that they want to attach to.
They can be seen if they want to be seen, and not if they don't want to.
I don't try to talk to any of my family that's crossed over, because I don't care how gifted you identify yourself as or anything. I feel like if you try to interact or engage with someone you knew on a personal level, friends or family, that's when dark entities will try to take advantage of that. I'm more comfortable engaging with that I don't know versus trying to talk to Nana or Papa or, whoever.
It's the emotional attachment that they try to take advantage of. Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and the reason I bring all that up is they can be deceitful, and you have to be careful about it. So, could Resurrecting Mary be something that's just not even really a woman? If you know what I mean? Like,
we'll never know. I mean, it's true. She could have taken that form. So nobody's scared
she
of her.
She could have.
Or, I mean, yeah. they can do whatever they want. It's
Did you find the picture?
Which one were you said? Because I saw a good amount of them.
Now I gotta pull it up.
Of her as a person? Or like an actual entity?
This is what was on Unsolved Mysteries. Resurrecting.
Oh, yeah. Where it's on...
Mary.
She's got like fog around her. She's like glowing a little bit. And walking. Okay, so do they know when the last sighting of her was? Do they...
No, that part I'm not sure of.
Huh.
It's this picture.
Yeah, okay. Then I am looking at that one. That's so cool.
But yeah, I mean, you can see it. Like the long hair. And that was the picture that was on Unsolved Mysteries.
And that's a legit picture.
And that's a legit picture.
That's crazy.
Debunk that, Ryan.
Yeah, sir. He's always got to pop
Yes,
Jody and I's bubble. It makes me mad. But
he does. He's like, that's a fly. I'm
that's
like, no, it's
I
not. You
listen.
would.
I'm so, it makes me so mad. Well, because it's so I'm surrounded by obviously you and we we've never really got to talk about this on the podcast because we stick to murders and we tie in the paranormal at the end when she asks the girls questions. So it's really cool that we get to touch base with Jody's home base. And she's probably the most clairvoyant. And then you've got like all of us. We did a live when Jody was here where my mom was on there, and I have no way to control it or anything like that, but I'm a hardcore empath. Like literally you can literally see people's emotions mirror right off my face. If I'm watching a movie, my face is the emotions of the person on the TV. Like it just engulfs me. It's terrible. And I haven't learned to control it like Jody's controlled hers. My mom's got different things. I haven't really talked to my sister about it, but
Yeah.
I really believe in it. And then my mom she did circle one night. It was actually Samhain, I believe. And Jody's been to the house that I grew up in just down the street from my house now. And her friend was like, do you mind if I bring somebody? She wants to check out the circle and the coven and just see what everybody's about and just witness things. She's like, yeah, the more the merrier. So she comes in and they put the coats and stuff in my parents' bedroom so they're out of the way. And this lady was acting really weird. And after circle, she came out. She's like, I didn't mean to seem rude. She was like, but we were in your room and my mom had this big wrought iron bed. And it was not up against a wall. It was like up against a corner. So you had space behind it where the corner was to the wall. And she said she had to explain she doesn't like to tell people because it weirds people out, but she can see spirits. I wish I had that gift. I don't know. I think it would be hit or miss.
I love it. She thought about it after
I
she
was like,
said
wait a minute,
that.
no, because then you'd see, no. But, and so she was like, we were putting our coats in there. You were talking to me, and I shut off because there was a man that was standing in that space behind her bed. And she was like, he didn't seem to be anything harmful. She said he just seemed uncomfortable with the amount of people, so he was kind of keeping to himself. And she's like, I don't like to tell a lot of people this, but I can see spirits, and he was in your bedroom. And we did some research because I don't know why we have an attachment to the street that we live on, but my dad grew up on this street too, 4 houses down from that house. And my grandparents' house was like very known to be haunted by an Indian, a woman, and a baby, because where we lived was a whole bunch of woods and they tore them down for housing, and there's still woods behind the houses. And it was known to be an Indian burial ground. As they moved through, they would bury people there. And people have seen it. The house that I grew up in, there was a girl when my dad was younger that grew up there, and she was best friends with my dad's sister, and she ran out of this house screaming at 3 a.m. because she said she saw it. And and he was harmful, but it scared her, and she never set foot back in that house. But so we went to my grandma's and we were asking if it was similar to her situation. Maybe it was just more Indian stuff. And she said no. And the lady told us the guy, he like said something to her, mentioned his name, and we went to my grandma's house, and she said that before my uncle bought the house, and we bought it from my uncle, there was a man that passed away in the kitchen. He had a heart attack, and his name was the name she gave us. It was bizarre. I wish I had that gift. Jody's got a cool gift. I just get to feel people's emotions, and it stinks.
It's a blessing and a curse all at the same time.
It's overwhelming sometimes.
It's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's very overwhelming.
But
yeah,
it's
Mom's
cool that we get to
always
tie in her paranormal stuff here because that's her life.
Well, that's my life. Literally, yeah. I genuinely mean it. Some people are like, I would freak the hell out, and I'm like, when I've grew up around it as much as I have, I don't know anything different. Like, if I didn't have strange, unusual things happen, I would be bored out of my mind. That's the whole reason I ended up with haunted dolls, is because when mom and dad, I don't know if I ever shared that story with you, when mom, of course, so my parents are getting older, and my mom, like, there's steps everywhere in this house. Everywhere you turn, there's
Mm-hmm.
steps. And, it's just them. We're not there anymore. She doesn't need all that space. So they had talked about selling it. And the first time she talked to me about it, I'm not kidding, I got so sad because I grew up with the entities there. And I was like, what about the ghost? And my mom's like, what the hell's wrong with you? They can stay here. I don't care. And I'm
I'll
like,
leave him here.
but really, in reality, it really bothered me
No.
because they don't mean anything malicious. I don't believe for a second that they do. And in a sense, I feel like I grew up with them. And there was a time that me and Colin were there, and Colin would call her Tammy. I think there's more than one there, but he would wave at Tammy, and he'd be like, bye, Tammy. And, Mom talked about sometimes when we would visit, she's going to kill me for talking about this because she's like, don't talk about the house on this. She's like, don't talk about the house on
It's
there. But
happening.
she would hear like their toys go off if I'm like, all right, we're leaving, and then all of a sudden all the toys would go off, which in a sense tells me like they've cared about all of us. And mom might disagree, but I really feel like that. Like, I think that they can become emotionally attached to us as human beings because they don't have their loved ones with them.
Yeah.
My belief is I believe in heaven and hell, and I believe that this is the in between. And the way that you and I physically see the in between is different than how they see the in
Oh,
between.
absolutely.
And to me, so when I get really defensive when people's like, that's demonic. No, it's not. There's a
No.
huge difference between an evil entity, a demonic entity, and just a soul. And if
Yeah.
we choose to stay here in the in between and not completely cross over for whatever reason that may be, you wouldn't like it if people called you demonic. I'm just going to say,
Well,
like,
just like I
that's the
explained, that spirit in my
reality of it.
house never made himself known. Ever. I heard weird things, but I always thought it was the house settling. It was nothing that threw out, oh my God, that was something. It
You
sounded
know, I'm
normal.
I'm thinking about when Papa brought me to Ohio that time because I got to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the backyard,
Oh,
but I don't
gorgeous.
remember ever feeling anything that made me,
So
you know,
harmless. They could be harmless, and
yeah,
there are spirits that are harmless. It
yes, they
just
are. And I think Resurrection Mary is
harmless.
is harmless.
It's honestly
I think
sad.
yes, it really is. You ready to get the girls'
Oh,
input?
let's go.
Yes. All right, we're gonna ask the girls what they think of Resurrection Mary. Can you hear it?
Yes,
Hey, did you hear that in the very beginning? It said you should. I
I
guess we should ask the girls.
I
All
did
right,
hear it.
girls, what do you think of Resurrecting Mary? A ghost. Did you hear that? A ghost.
Did they just say yeah afterwards?
They said, I heard a ghost, and then we're worried. I heard we're worried. Why are
Oh,
you worried? If you're worried, because my mom tried to be creepy. She didn't mean it.
you're beautiful.
You're beautiful. All right. So, resurrecting Mary, do you think that she's the soul of the Mary that died in the car accident? I heard yes.
Okay. Was she totally 100% harmless?
Is she harmless? Yes. Is she lost? I can't make that up. Is she stuck? Does she not know how to cross
I
over?
feel like she's stuck.
I heard she was stuck.
I get that.
Is she waiting on something? I heard Mary. I couldn't make that out. Does she mean to jump out in front of cars? I just need to clarify that. No.
I was gonna say I thought I heard no before, and then we were talking. Does she mean to scare people by doing it, or is she just trying
Yeah,
to get
does
their
she mean to
attention?
scare people? She's angry. I heard she's angry.
I wouldn't get the angry vibe.
Why is she angry? Scream.
Dream like you dream when you sleep?
No, I heard scream.
Oh.
Why is she angry?
Nothing. They don't know.
I don't know.
Nothing.
Maybe because she died at such a young age. I'd be
Yeah.
angry too.
Was it a tragic car accident? Well, I mean, obviously every car accident is tragic, but
Yeah, I
Ooh,
feel like
that's
it was a
quick.
tragic. Yep.
Is she naturally a blonde, or is that just how her
Yeah, was
spirit
she
portrays?
naturally a blonde? Or is that just how the spirit transparent? They said yeah.
Maybe she was born a blonde. People's hair color changes through time.
But I'm kind of like you. It makes me wonder if maybe that's just how it appears when she appears.
Maybe.
I think so. Do you hear that? I think so.
Did her mom find it odd that a bunch of people saw her in that time?
Yeah, does her mom find it odd? Yes.
Does her mom think it's her?
Well, I think her mom's deceased now.
Oh, yeah, well, true. But did she think it was her?
Did her mom think it was her? Yes.
That's crazy.
And hopeful. Do you hear that? Hopeful.
I feel sad for her.
Yeah. Is Mary still dancing the night away? Yes. She's still
Do
dancing.
people still see and have sightings of her?
Yeah, do people still see her in the dance clubs and did you hear that?
I couldn't make it
Somebody
out.
said that was great. Yes.
Oh,
That was something I have never ever heard. That voice was completely different.
wow.
Mary, is that you? Did you pop in?
Are you having a good time? What? I can't.
I don't know what that was.
I can't. So people still do
Blinded.
people still see her on the side of the road?
Yeah, do people still see her on this side of the road? I couldn't make that out.
I didn't even think it was a voice.
I can't make it out.
I don't know.
I don't know. We're gonna have to go to Chicago. Y'all want to go to Chicago?
Ryan wants to go to Chicago.
We could. They said a train. They said we could take the
We
train.
could take the train.
Thank you, girls.
Thanks, ladies.
They said thank you.
I heard it.
I know. I love them. How anybody could not like the paranormal is beyond me.
Love it.
Yes. All right. So next week we will do another creepy case.
I'm
if my
excited.
mom hasn't killed me about talking about the house.
Or beating her in the chili cook-off.
And we're going to beat her in the chili cook-off. It's going to happen.
It's gonna
It's going
happen.
down. It's going down.
And then Jody's gonna show us a picture of her costume.
Yes. I'm excited. All right. So what do they got to do, Ash?
They need
What
to
do we
go.
really need them to do?
We really, really need you guys to go to YouTube, like, follow, and subscribe. We're really trying to get those follows up, but we're really trying to get all of the follows and subscribers
Yes.
up on all social media platforms. So give us a like, follow, subscribe, do what you do. And then if you like to listen, find us on Spotify. If you like to watch and listen, find us on YouTube. You get a little extra, you get to see Jody dance.
Yeah.
And then I want to have a little fun in the comments. I mean, it's spooky season, so Jody and I kind of shared ghost stories. Let me know your ghost stories. Have you guys experienced anything? I want to know. I want to read it.
Yeah.
So
I want to read it.
Yeah.
I love when people comment things that they've experienced,
Yeah.
I'm all, listen, I want to know, because to me that's a normal life. When I tell you all I don't know anything different, I really don't. Like,
So we want to hear it. We eat it up. So
yes.
yeah, down in the comments, please
Yes.
tell us any experiences you guys have had with the paranormal, any cool ghost stories, even scary ghost stories. If you want to talk about it, I want to hear about it. Jody wants to hear about it. So
Yes.
we'll see you guys next week for another spooky story, and it will be the episode closest to Halloween. So
Right before Halloween. Halloween's on a Thursday.
yeah.
Yes.
So yeah,
All right.
do your thing.
Bye, doll baby.
Bye, doll babies. Bye.